it feels so cold inside my heart tonight. Be my man is what she said. It's not just the wind that's moving around tonight, but quick and clean don't make it right.
Right, our Ant and I are out, start of the day. We're walking across a couple of big surfaces behind us, and we're walking across to a spot where I've got a few little fellas. And I pointed out to Ant this hut side here, and the blokes carted rocks of different type, different strata and that up here. Like there's a big bit of actual reef, quartz, great big bit of ironstone to make his chimney. As soon as I mentioned hut to Ant, his eyes lit up. He said, I'll have a start here.
That's it.
So Ant's going to put
I want to find a pipe.
Yeah. And that's the thing about detecting too. You've got to use your eyes as well as your detector. Keep your eyes out.
That's
See a
it.
bit of broken glass, might lead you to a bottle hole or something like that, or a belt buckle or whatever. I'm going to cut across, you can just see a bit of a dam wall there. What they did was, the reef's up there, and they surfaced it. And then they said, oh, we've got this big surface that's 8 foot deep, or bloody 6 foot deep, and probably 60, 70 metres long. And they turned it into a dam. They built a wall across, and then they used the catchment on this natural slope to work further down. There's a steep slope down there below us. So, start of the day, Ant and I slept through the frost. And when I say Ant and I slept, Ant slept at his house, I slept at my house. I want to scotch those rumours before they start.
Yeah.
So
-3 on the way over.
Yeah, so
mind you, we had a few cups of tea to warm up before we started. It's pretty fresh.
It's not a job. So you know, if it's cold or wet and raining, you can say, "Oh, we'll have a bloody cup of coffee before we start."
That's it. Yeah.
So now we're going to make a start. So wish us luck, and we'll get into it, Ant.
Cheers. Good luck, Glenn.
Go on, your mate. So to you. Righto, been here 3 minutes. I just moved away to turn the detector on. Ant said, come back. Come back and film this. So he's got a signal he reckons he is happy with. There's the hut right there. So that's where Ant is. So I think he's actually in the hut, well he is, he's in the confines of the hut. You can see where the ground's been taken out. And we've spoken about it before, but you can get little bits of gold that have been lost. They've brought back to the hut and they've lost them. Or where this hut's been built, it's right between the workings. There's a, don't dig it up while I'm not on your hand.
Yep.
There's a surfacing there, and just behind us is that where they took all the ground out to build a dam that I want to show you myself in a minute.
Still in there.
Now, if this turns into a rally, it could be a great start for the day because I don't like using the word literally because everyone says, oh, I literally shit myself. I'm not sure if they know what literally means. So anyhow, but we've only been going 2 minutes, so I haven't even been going. Bloody Anthony, it's all about Anthony. I haven't even had a chance to turn the detector on yet.
Oh, well, let's see what this turns into.
Yeah.
Getting into some nice ground. Very close now.
So this will be good. Yeah, we had a heavy frost last night, and if you're in other countries and I say something like -5, you say, oh, -5. Here in Finland it was -16 or whatever, you know. So, but -5 was plenty of cold enough for me.
Definitely. And we have very different heating systems here in Australia to Europe, so...
Oh, do we? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very different. Installation's different, and heating, and you know, we only have just single windows, no double glazing or triple glazing. In Europe it's standard.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, this is very solid ground now.
This would be bloody great if you fluke something here. Oh, not fluke because you detected it, but even better still, a mate of mine said to me once, Alistair Grant, said to me, have you ever found any golden huts? And I said, no, I haven't, but I've heard of blokes have. And he said, oh, my dad, he found nuggets that have been hammered flat and shoved into the stones of the hut.
Really?
Yeah, so that some bloke was hiding his gold.
Yeah.
And he didn't care whether his gold was flat or was nuggets. Like he didn't care if his gold was nuggets or there was no premium for a nugget, so he was hammering them flat and shoving them in.
Wow.
Now you'd cry if you saw a big bit of gold hammered flat. I knew two blokes who found a piece of gold and cut it in half.
Bugger.
So
No, that's what we've got.
there we
First target.
That's our first target for the day. And I'll edit out a lot of what I said. Righto, folks.
Oh, well.
I'll
See
turn
you
this
next
off
time.
so I can give it to Ant, and then I'll just show you this dam. Righto, we're on a slope below the reef, and this is where we're up at the head of the gully, and they've taken all this ground out because the gold-bearing wash was about 8 feet below the surface. So you'll often see where they pothole, but here they've taken it out in one big area, and they followed it up along the slope, and then they've taken it out over there as well. So that was their first part of their work. They took all the surface off, and then they thought, well, we've got this big hole, we'll turn it into a dam. So here, this is the drain that runs off it. So they've had to dig the drain down to the bottom, obviously, because there's no sense having all that water in there and the drain at the top. They've dug the drain down through. The drain runs down here and starts to narrow out because they've made it a bit narrow. They've left the entrance wide to get the water to drain in. Then they've made a nice neat drain and gets more and more narrow to cart the force of the water, and that leads down into their puddlers. So what they've cleverly done is they've done all this work and got the gold, and then they said, no, we'll save this work, we'll use that. So because it's on a slope, they've got the catchment, dug the deep drain in to get enough fall, and then now shallow fall, fast running water, down to the puddlers, down the end there, or here, but quite possibly down the end of this drain. All they would have had was mud and clay just to block the water. So once the water gets into the drain, it's nice and tight. When they want to fill their puddlers, 2 or 3 lifts with a shovel, lift that dirt and stone out, let the water flow, turn it off again. So they were great engineers, and
That's for sure.
after they've done all that work, got the gold, they've used it again. So just thought I'd show you that, because if you get a bit of an understanding of what they were doing, you get a bit of understanding where they were doing it and where they might have left us a little bit. Righto, Ant?
Let's get into it.
Righto, that dam I was just showing you, I've got down in it because before it was a dam, it was a big hole where they've bottomed it out and got it down onto the bottom to get the gravel wash. So this is the artificial wall. This is the wall they put in to hold the water. This was one big long hole and a big area up there. Then they put the clay back in there to make a catchment. So obviously if they were working in here and digging out 8 foot of dirt, maybe they left something on the bottom. I've got a signal here. We're showing you a few signals early, because if you don't, you know, people that are watching and saying, oh, I'm never having any luck, just want to show you that we're not always finding gold either, you know. So
We get a lot of rusty nuggets as well before we get gold nuggets.
yeah, we do our fair share of saying, bugger this and bugger that, and that one's blanking out now. You can nearly back to, even though, you know, you'll hear us say that's in good ground. That is in good ground, and that is that yellow and red clay, and that is a good spot. But I suspect it's dirt that's been thrown to the side on top of something. But it just goes to show that there's still signals here. I can just about go and
it's a monster.
Yeah. Don't get bent out of shape about us not using scoops. You know, we get a bit of backlash about why don't you use scoops. When I started, there were no scoops, and I prefer to use my hands. Ant prefers to use his hands
With gloves.
with
I
gloves.
still prefer to use my hands.
I've picked up probably, in the last 10 years, I've probably picked up 10 scoops or more where blokes have stood up and left his scoops. There it is, it's just rubbish.
Yep.
But
That was
we're
a
in,
nice signal. You've got to dig those.
we're in a hole where they found gold. All the detectors have been over there. That was gold, what are we talking, quarter of an ounce? So
Yep.
I'm with an up and out.
Yep. Nice one.
Well done, mate.
You with Ali.
Yeah, but are we?
Alright guys, well, smoko time, still 0 gold. We've had a few targets. I got a bag full of old nails and a bit of lead shot, and I'm sure Glenn's got the same, but we haven't had much luck we haven't had any luck on the gold yet. But hot coffee, bit of food, and hopefully after lunch we can turn it around and get some gold.
And I wouldn't say we haven't had any luck because,
Haven't we?
well, one of the great things of being out and about is you see celebrities. And I was looking across the bush and I saw this bloke and I thought, what? Who would have thought here's a face that's very famous, a lot of face of a generation, a lot of children like him. Here's Papa Smurf in the bush. Right,
Wrong colour, Glenn, but I'll take that. Papa Smurf.
we found nothing, and we're going to have smoko, boys. See
That's
ya,
it.
and girls. One of the things about being in the Australian bush, you often hear people say, oh, I saw a panther, I saw a puma. Over around Kilmore, they're always talking about pumas. Well, I saw a bobcat this morning, and you'll think that I'm a bullshit artist, but we met a bloke called Bob Broadbent, and here he is.
Bobcat.
Got the Bobcat. He calls himself Bobcat. He's a wild looking dude. Have a look at him. And one thing he did say, he said he was hoping he'd meet us in the bush, and we're thrilled about that. And a lot of people on our comments say, you know, I'd like to run into you. Bobcat's run into me. He owes me 20 cents. I haven't put a lot in
Waiting
yet.
for that pay up.
Yeah. And the other thing Bobcat said, he'd show us a spot that he knows, and we're going to have a crack there, which is bloody decent of him. And we've already bonded, especially when he said he'd show us the place, you know, we're doing that. So have a good look at him. There he is.
Not wanted by the law.
So, Bobcat out the bush, and if you're out the bush, don't be afraid to say g'day if you want to come over for a yarn, because we're always up for a yarn. So, very thrilled to meet Bobcat. Bobcat's good at his job. He's already got 2. We've been up for smoko and got 2 parts of 3/5 of bugger all. So well done you, Bobcat, and good to meet you, mate.
job, mate.
No worries, guys.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Good luck
luck.
with it. Yeah,
Good on you, mate.
Cheers.
we'll see you
Well,
in the
so-
future.
Yeah,
That's it.
and watch our video.
Oh yeah, I watch all of them, mate. Yeah.
Righto, Ant.
Let's get into it.
Before Bobcat disgraces us,
That's
we've got to
it.
get some
We've got to
gold.
get back onto it. See you, mate.
No worries, guys.
Ant and I are back from smoko, and I've come back to where I got 2 little ones last week. I've been digging out this stone, which is just big stones, big rocks that have been thrown out of the gully, washed and thrown back out of the gully. So when you start digging down in them, I've got 2 things in mind. I'm hoping to get a bit a bit of gold that's been caught on the sandstone with the clay. I've actually had 3 things in mind. Or a little bit of a conglomerate, or a bit that's lodged up on the sandstone bar as it's come into the gully. So I've got a signal there, and I couldn't have got the signal, and I didn't get the signal because I've been up and down here, and I was here, as I said last week, on top of this, was only because I took this amount of stone off,
Then now it's come to
and it's
life.
now it's come to life, as Ant said. So, and see that sandstone there, that's the bar. So the sandstone's been, most of Eastern Victoria used to be covered with water at some stage. It's been laid down layers of sand, flat like that. Then there's been some sort of upheaval, volcanic upheaval or shift in the earth. It's turned the sandstone on its side. So there it is, it's a bar. There's the bottom and the clay. So it's not a massive signal by any means, but I'll just try and get him out without losing him. I'm digging this out on the left pretty vigorously because I know the signal's there. So what I'm trying to do is get down on the same level as him, not have any dirt around.
Then we don't have to chase it.
Now it'll be.
I can see it.
Oh, Bobcat.
No, I can't.
Oh. I wouldn't have doubted that you could see it because it won't be far away.
Yeah.
Because it's on the yellow clay.
This is that big flat bit there. That's not it, is it?
No, that's not it.
Okay. Nice.
I'll take a little bit off. Everything looks like gold now, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, so could be out.
Another question we get asked is why don't we use pinpointers? But I'm not so sure that a pinpointer would be any advantage in a thing like this because a pinpointer's great for coins and your bigger gold, but pinpointer you'd practically have to say right on top of it, and by the time you're right on top of it, you found the bloody thing anyhow.
Yeah, I use pinpointers when I'm going in the beach, in parks and things like that, but I don't really like them at all when we're going for gold. I prefer just using the machine.
Yeah, there's one more thing I'd leave laying out the bush.
Exactly, there's so much to carry as it is.
I like, if I'm going to use a pinpointer, if it's big enough, use the edge of your coil.
Yeah, that's it.
So he's somewhere on that line there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to make too much of a meal of him. I've been caught
Have
before.
him, yep.
There. Ooh. He's blanking out,
Blanking out,
but we've proven before with these boosters,
exactly.
he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't blank out if it was gold. He wouldn't blank out without the booster. The boosters caught us out early on.
Where are you? There he is.
Ah! There he is.
I think we'll call that a draw, Glenn.
Yeah,
We got that at the same time.
yeah, I know. I think, to be perfectly honest, Ant, I think I followed you in.
Nice.
So there he is.
Actually bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, there he is.
It's a nice surprise.
So, and we're only 6 foot from there. As I've said before, this is up on the terrace. There's the bottom of the gully down there, but this was originally, the water would have been flowing along here, and then the force of the water, and you're talking millions of years,
Yeah.
has cut itself lower and lower. But imagine this is a creek, it's come along,
Boom.
hit that bar, dropped in there.
Down.
They've been working the gully, working in the gully and working the edges the same as us, but they've been wary of the yellow clay, they've been wary of this clay, so they haven't scraped out the bars because they know if they scrape him out, unless they spot him with the eye, they don't want to put a big pile of clay in their dish, so they'll leave it be. Plus they were getting bigger and better gold than we're getting. We're picking over the bones, but
What are you?
I'm going 0.6, Ant. I'm going in hard.
Yeah, well, it's
You've got to be half a gram.
At least half. I'm going to
Bloody-
go 0.7.
Go, you
0.7.
beauty! I knew you'd go 0.7. I wasn't going to go 0.7. Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Oh, well, that's good news.
Good job.
Yeah.
Well done, Glenn.
Thanks, Ant. And as I said, I only got him because I've got bits there. Last week, Ant said I sent him down there because I knew the gold was up here, and that was pretty right too. Because further up there at one stage, I couldn't put my foot on the spot now because it's a fair while ago. And by a fair while ago, I mean maybe 30 years ago, I dug out a similar bar, and they were in a line. I didn't get just one. I got about 4 or 5 in a line along the bar, you know. So
Well, let's do that again.
detector's not working because you've got it turned off. Well, did we do a thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up,
There we
man.
go.
Good on you, mate. That's your first one.
Nice job, mate.
Righto, we're back on the edge of the gully. I've moved up about 4 foot from where I got that last little one. And I've got a signal right there. And I called Ant up before I dig it any more because I suspect when I dig it a bit more, it'll start to blank out and just be rubbish. But I wanted to show you that when you're doing something like this, just because you get one bit of gold there doesn't necessarily mean that every signal you dig after that is gold. I'm not sure how clearly I made it about this stone that I'm pulling down. All this stone, the old timers have been in the gully behind us here, or where the water's been running down from where they've had their solution, they've had a force of water off the water race, and they've been throwing all the stone out of the gully. They've been working the bottom of the gully, and they've been throwing all the stone out. So the 3 spots that, as I said, we could get gold, stuck on it, in it, or a little bit of specimen, or a bit in the ground itself that hasn't been thrown out of the gully. It hasn't made its way into the gully because it's sliding down into the gully, and meets an obstacle and stay. So I'll dig this. I reckon it's right on the point of blanking out, but and especially seeing it's so high in the stones, I'm nowhere near the bottom where you'd want to see it. But then again, it might be stuck on the stone.
Yep. Could be pleasantly surprised, Glenn. Could be.
Well, that was.
Oh, we're going to soon find out.
Yeah, that was quick, wasn't it?
That was.
But the thing about it was, even this signal, those logs there showed people those jumble of logs. They were laying on this heap of stones. I'd thrown those logs off, and then this signal appeared. So just because he's not gold, doesn't mean that it doesn't prove the point that if you help nature along a bit, help yourself along a bit by rolling a few logs or cutting a few ferns or whatever. Those old bracken ferns, they're everywhere, and you're not supposed to cut those because the so-called native vegetation. The fronds are poisonous, the stem's poisonous. This is bracken ferns I'm talking about.
Which ones are those?
I'll show you in a minute, Ann. Next time when I'm digging a signal, we'll show you, yeah. What do you see there? That's not.
Nothing. Yeah.
Oh, I think that.
That? Where is it?
A little bit of rust of some sort. Right out. So there's the signal that wasn't gold. He was under those logs. If he was gold, I'd be saying how clever I was. So I'm still going to say how clever I am. Right, Ant. Back on your heads.
Next one.
Next one. Righto, we're filming. Ant just called me down and I was way up the gully, and now we've been dragging a little bit. And Ant yelled out something that ended in bit. And I hoped he said, I've found a bit, but he might have said, yeah, I've filmed a bit, or I want to give it in or chuck it up or whatever. So fair enough, Ant's found a bit. He's still got it in his hand, he's only just dug it.
Still got it in my hand. I was going through. Hang on, let's have a listen.
No, I've turned it off, haven't I?
Oh, yeah, I unplugged it.
Yeah, go on, plug it back in, we'll show them what it sounds like. And we've been working hard, you know, we've been struggling. I was just thinking in my head, so there it is, and this is where it was. That's where it was, Ann, I'm assuming?
Yeah, right in there, all right? Just as you were saying before with these, you know, in the It's
in the
side of-
sandstone where
in
it's
the
travelled.
sandstone?
Yeah, in the bar.
in the bar, yeah.
Yeah, where it
Right
travelled
in there.
along.
So I just scrape
And
it
as I
out
have
there.
said before too, I mean, if you're in the creek, that's the sort of little area you'd clean
Exactly. Yeah, they're the crevices you're looking for.
out. I can just see him going back that way,
That's
mate.
it. That's the one right there.
So
So right there, nice little bit of gold, a little
That's
bit
it.
of shiny.
good work, mate. I'll
You got
get
him,
my
or
camera-
is
Yeah,
it-
now I've got him.
There
By
we
gee, I
are.
have. Yeah.
Yep, happy days.
And I'm as pleased as Ant because we've been working, I'm not working, blokes who work in factories work. We've been playing for a long time this morning, and eventually I got a bit after Smoko, and then and now Ant's got a bit, and I'm as pleased as he is, you know. So
it.
because he kept his bloody head down, kept working at it, and it's
Yep.
a hard caper.
It is.
People write to us and say, "I'm glad you said how hard it is, you know, because I haven't found anything and I've been going a while." So, as I've said before, don't take too much notice of what other people say or other people do. It's hard to find, and I've been doing it a long time, and I know how hard it is to find. There it is. You want to? I know you want to focus it.
Yeah, just push in the
Just tap on
middle.
the screen.
Yep, in the middle. There we
Yeah, that's
go.
perfect. So there's a little bit of gold that Ant
A little
found.
bit.
Yeah,
Not huge, but I'm wrapped.
No,
I think
I just
I'll probably
but-
only go point 0.1 or 0.2.
Oh, it's
but
got to go 0.2. But
Yeah,
when
it's
you
chunky.
yell out, I found a bit. I nearly clicked my heels and yelled out Eureka.
Yes.
on
Happy
you,
days.
mate. There he is.
You got one each.
When we were talking about the poles, the amount of poles, you know, that contact Ant, you know, and then they'll put in a little bit of polish, and I said we're going to have to start sledging the poles. So my mother started this morning. 86-year-old mother started this morning. It was a frost,
it was a
and
great one.
Ant was down at my mum's place, and so was I, having a cup of tea before we set off. And my mother said, "He'll be an icy pole."
Good call, Pat.
I thought it was a really good effort for an 86-year-old.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was great. I haven't heard that one before.
No,
either,
no,
so-
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, 10 points, Pat.
Yeah, good on you, Pat. You started that because the poles have been getting it too easy. Like, we got
Yep.
stuck into all the other nations. Like two poles walked into a bar.
Here we go.
You'd think one of them would have seen it. Right,
Oh,
folks. Ant's got a bit. I've got
On
a
the
bit.
board.
Yeah, good work.
So
Now
what
I'm
else we
going
can
up
do
to
for
the hut
today?
where I got the pipe bowl last week
Oh, nice.
because I want to try and get a relic as well. Right,
Beautiful.
well done, Ant. I'm as pleased as you are, mate.
Cheers, mate.
When I'm breaking the law, I like to know what law I'm breaking. This fern here, that's a bracken fern, and they're everywhere through the bush. They're a noxious weed, but you're not supposed to cut them. You're not supposed to cut them because they're not protected, but you're not supposed to cut native vegetation. But the thing about these is they're completely inert, and they're also completely noxious. They're completely poisonous. The new fronds are poisonous, the stems are poisonous, and the root ball is poisonous, only if you ingest them, only if you eat them. So they're good for nothing. Native animals, kangaroos, wallabies, wombats, etc. They won't eat them at any cost. They'll never chew on them, no matter how much they're starving. They're not too bad for cutting making a quick shoulder out of. And the reason that I was going to cut them is, see this ground in here, this is the same ground. That's the raised stone. All that big patch of ferns up there has grown up, and these broom have grown up on this raised mudstone. And the mudstone, as you can see, it's been laid down in layers like that, and then tilted up, and then turned flat. So that, when that was laid, it was laid like that, and the whole lot's been lifted. So bracken, you can cut it on private property. Can't cut it because it's native vegetation. The only bloody animals that are stupid enough to eat it are goats and cows that are starving. And if you drink their milk after they've been living on bracken, they're chewing on bracken,
No good?
they can get stomach cancer out of it because of how toxic it is.
Yeah.
So
Don't go chewing on bracken.
don't go chewing. Don't go eating the bottom of them. Don't go eating the fronds. Don't go cutting them.
No.
Not that we would.
No.
But they're everywhere.
They are.
They're a noxious weed.
Yep.
And that's how ridiculous some of the laws are. You know, you can't cut them because they're native vegetation, but don't do anything with them because they're bloody poisonous. Righto, folks. No more gold. We're going to go across. I want to go across and have a quick look at the camera tree and see if the camera's still there. Then we'll have our weigh-in.
Weigh-in time.
And talk about our giveaway.
That's it.
Good work, Ant. We've called in at the rub tree, and this is the rub tree that I showed you last week, because we were going to show our gold to the camera. But the trail camera's gone. This is the tree it was on, and the trail camera's on. So the bloke will have a few of the photos of Ant and I on his trail camera. We're hoping that it's the same bloke that actually owned the camera, that got the camera.
Yeah.
And
Maybe you saw our video.
yeah, maybe you saw our video. I've always been fascinated by the fact that it was the trail cam and the camouflage those blokes wear, you know, the duck hunters. And in fact, one of the duck hunting blokes, they wear those Wookiee suits. You see, Wookiee suits, you know, they're covered in leaves.
Oh,
It's like a jacket, you know, you can hide in the bush.
Yeah.
And I had one. I bought one, and I used to wear this camouflage suit. You know, it was perfect. You could go somewhere and then hop down, and no one knew you were there. And then it was stolen by a one-legged man. And I'd like to say to you, you can hide, but you can't run. Righto, Ant, back to the weigh-in.
Let's do it. All right, Glenn.
Righto, Ant and I have just been having a discussion, an animated discussion.
Animated discussion.
Anyhow, we're settled down again now.
Yeah.
We're having our weigh-in.
Yeah. End of the day, unfortunately. Another day over.
We had a good time, and it was a
great
perfect day. You know, we
It
had a
was,
heavy
yeah.
frost, and there was a lovely winter's day. You know,
Yeah.
and everything was cool and clear. There was no
Sun was
no
out.
interference. The signals were nice and clear what they were.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
I'll turn this shuts itself down.
Yeah.
So this is there's no conditions in our
No.
today because we know
Oh, jeez.
what's it
1.06.
1.06.
Well, I got closest though. I called it a 0.7.
So yeah, I know. I only said all I said was had to go over
0.6
half a
you
ground.
were, yeah.
So
But yeah, 1.06.
yeah.
Nice, very nice.
Now we'll weigh ants.
We'll weigh it up.
What
So
are
what do
we
you-
calling?
I'm only going 0.2.
Have I got it or you got it?
No, I got it.
Oh shit! I was going to say we've struck a snag because I've lost it. Righto.
All right, let's see.
Oh, well,
0.25.
that's surprising, isn't it? Because
Yep.
and I'll
of a
tell you what,
gram.
it was a good bit of detecting too.
Yeah, happy with that.
Yeah, it was in sort of ready, hard ground and hard detecting ground. I mean, not its actual surface. So
Feel a bit on. Beautiful. Nice picture. Good on
Right.
you, Glenn.
on your ant. So we haven't got
day.
any relics.
No relics for today, no.
And
Comments are rolling in. I am getting to them all. I will be replying to everybody as I always do. But thank you very much for all your comments. It's great to hear from you all. And
and we struck a snag. We had a robot, a bot. Tell us about that. You know.
Oh yeah, geez, we've had a few automatic messages, those comments that pop up saying that you've won some prize or something, call something or text some number. It's really annoying. I hope YouTube start filtering those comments out. But
So if you get one of those, it's not us. You know, if you get one of those that says, you know,
just ignore it.
You're in the last 10, it's not us.
Yeah.
We also, there was one that I didn't get a chance to see. Ant took it down before I got to look at it, but I think it was a sort of a soft porn one where they said, it said, what do they call it, you know, for some sort of home site or something like that. I can't even remember what it was. And Ant said, oh, there was this one up that I've taken down. I said, taken down? Like, you know, as the director of the site, I should have a look at it first to decide if it needs to be taken down. So that was another one. So no relics. Thanks for the comments. I was bloody thrilled with the comments.
Yeah.
The bloke or the person I thought that gave me a hug that I was looking forward to, Secret Streams, Fever Dreams, Secret Streams, turned out to be Hairy Prospector. He said he'd hug me anyhow. So fair enough. I noticed another one gave me crosses and zeros, you know, hearts and kisses, hugs and kisses. I checked back on him. I think he's a bloke as well. So, so good on you. Thanks for that.
Much love from everybody.
Yeah, there was a lot of love.
Great. Really appreciate it.
A lot of women said, you know, a lady, her name I think was, and I'm only spitballing now, was Mandy something I think, and she was very nice and said how generous we were and how nice we were. Good on you.
Yeah,
So thanks for the comments. I really enjoy the comments. Ant needs a secretary to assist with him replying to them, but Until we
it.
get the big one,
Yep.
he has to do
We'll
the
get
work
there.
by himself. Righto, we've had a good day.
have.
We've laughed, we've cried. We met a bloke called Bobcat out of the bush that follows us. So we're going to go to one of his sites and have a crack. So I reckon that'll be good because the little bit I spoke to him, he seemed a wild and woolly character. So that'll be a lot of fun. So keep watching, keep commenting, and sooner or later you'll get we'll do the prize draw. Thanks, Ant. Good on you, Ant.
Cheers, mate. See you next time, man.
See you, Ant. Bye.